Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Today's Restaurant Networking Group, a 9 o'clock. And my name is Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant, and we are a group of vendors in the restaurant industry. We're here to help each other grow our businesses, and in the event of a restaurant having a issue or a problem that they are dealing with and they need help with, I encourage you to give us a call because we're here to help. If you want to attend the meeting, give us a call at 561 620 8888. We'll go to our website at trnusa.com and check out our YouTube channel, which is approaching 500 videos. And you can see that also on our website at TRNUSA. And at the top of the page, you'll see a link that says YouTube. Just click on that, and it'll take you right to it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Howard.
Good morning.
Morning, Howard.
Morning, Howard. Morning.
Where's my coffee, Howard?
It's brewing.
Just have to reheat it by the time it gets to Georgia. Milk and sugar not included.
Not needed either.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're going to do today is I think we'll have a discussion first, and then do the intros, just change it up a bit. So I have a couple of topics, and we can put it up for vote which one we want to talk about. In light of what's going on in politics and in trade regarding the tariffs, the thought is, how do you tariff proof your business in an economy like this? What can you do to protect your business? And when I say you, I mean you and restaurants. What can they do to protect themselves facing tariffs? A lot of the tariffs have been resolved. Brian. So, any thoughts on? I'll give you just one quick thing that this report said. One of the most important things is to audit your supply chain. So basically, if you're a restaurant and you're serving food, you're serving food. You want to audit where you're buying your food, where is it coming from, and plan your menu changes around that. Any thoughts on that?
I got one.
Yep.
What happens if your cuisine is based specifically on a country that is being hit very much by tariffs? Okay.
Where's the food being bought?
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, the countries that I think about the most are going to be like, Chinese food. Obviously, you can purchase from American suppliers, but American suppliers are probably getting that product from its chain. It starts somewhere. I mean, I think those are the restaurants that are going to hurt. Now, if you have City Cafe in Huntsville, where you have food from all different parts of the country, you can always alter where you purchase your food from. But if you do a specific type of food cuisine, I think you're going to get hurt more. That's that's coming from that's coming from somebody who's not in the restaurant industry.
I think you have to identify the people that make those other cuisines in America as food suppliers that aren't just having it shipped here. Not only will you end up with fresher product because it's not being shipped overseas on a boat or on a plane or something like that, and causing that particular time frame to eat up some of the freshness of the food, but you have to become a master negotiator. You have to be able to go to your suppliers or your vendors and be like, hey, the price isn't working for me anymore. you guys are being put in review. And then what essentially happens is you either change vendors or your current vendor says, you know what, you're right, we can do better on pricing, and you have to negotiate. You have to be better at that. And you have to can't be nice in business. You have to accept no's and accept yeses where they make sense. You know, I tell people all the time, my business is 98% rejection. So if you're not good at hearing no, then you're not going to get better at rejection, right? Or at negotiation.
Wow.
And I think you have to be better at that. You have to find the pain points. In my business and in the food business, the pain point is margin, right? So how do you create margin? You have to talk to your vendors. You have to find the same thing for a better price or get more for your price, whatever the case may be. So if you're getting 12 hot dogs right now, for $12, can I get 15 for $12 so I can create more margin? You know, you just have to be better at negotiating. You have to be better you have to be willing to go through the pain of talking to people and taking meetings and negotiating. You have to be able to do that. I think that's key in business. And a lot of people get lazy and they just stick with what they know. And you get places that, they stay at the same place for 20 years and they just take the price increase every year because, oh, that's my friend over there. They're nice to me. Who cares if they're nice? Your bottom line is margin and staying in business.
Jeremy, in my industry, every year a business comes up for review for their benefits. Well, if you have heavy hitters, which I mean heavy hitters are ones that are the more unhealthy ones that go to the doctor more, you're going to see a premium increase. Well, if you really think they give good service, me as a broker, we need to go back to the company we're working with and say, listen, okay, we understand these people are heavy hitters, but we're going to shop. Okay, as soon as you tell somebody you're purchasing from that you're going to start shopping, you're right. They're going to say, well, wait a second, let us review this. We'll take a look at this again, because there's always room to move. Now, if anybody's ever heard of Humana, the reason Humana got out of the work site industry was because they kept lowering their increase of premiums. It put them out of business on the group side because they could not make money anymore. So they say, you know what, we're not going to do group anymore. But so you got to really be careful as a business owner not to cut your own throat just to get the business. Sometimes you just have to let that business go. Unfortunately,
brings up a point. If you're running a restaurant, let's just take for an example, Cheesecake Factory. Have you seen their menu? How large their menu is? If you're running a restaurant like that, you really have to take a good hard look at your menu and see which items are selling and which items are not selling. And once you determine which ones are not selling, you can reduce that or eliminate them from your menu, and then deal with the sourcing of what's left.
You're right, Rick. Especially on health, I see all the time where people they're on another PEO, they're on their own group insurance plan, they get a 20 to 30% increase. They come to us, we use our agency, we go shop them, and all of a sudden it's only an 8% increase. So they're getting an increase because they had a ton of claims, but instead of 20%, it's only 8%. There's a gap now. So now they're like, yes, we'll take it. Thank you, because that 12% means a lot to us. That covers us for the next 2 years.
But Jeremy, on the flip side of that, if you can't negotiate and you can't get another carrier to help you out, then you can always sell a gap product. Let me say this gap product right here to offset the higher deductibles. The broker makes more money as a commission, and then on top of that, the company goes, okay, now I can afford to do this because now I can present this to my employees and saying, listen, if you get this, it'll help offset the higher deductibles. So I mean, it's knowing your business, knowing your competition, and knowing your clients. You have to know what they want. It's not just going out and selling it just because it looks good,
Right. Well, that's why there's a marketplace for the MEC plans now, right? That's why there's a marketplace for minimum essential coverage. And then you add a cancer and a hospital indemnity plan to it, and it's $400 less a month, and you kind of get all the stuff you need, especially if you're healthy. You know what I mean? Like it keeps you from going bankrupt. So,
Well, on the
you
personal,
know,
on the
it's
on the personal side, the enhanced tax credits are going away at the end of the year, which that
Right,
basically means
right.
if you make over $81,000 a year, you're not going to get a subsidy anymore. So for the past 2 months, I've been researching, trying to find something to offset my costs. I found a great policy, but their hit list, their what do they call those? Rejection list is a mile long. I told one company, I said, you have more rejection things on your list than a life insurance company. It's ridiculous. But if you think about it, it's going to be higher because more people have sleep apnea, more people have diabetes. And so now it's kind of like, okay, well, how do I swallow this? So I found some products that'll work good for me. It's called an accident plan, because I'm not going to go to the hospital or use a deductible unless I have an accident or a major event.
Right.
It's going to cost me $30 a month to cover my wife and I. So now I can lower my premium, have a higher deductible, open up an HSA, and now I'm covered.
Yeah, but Rick, doesn't apply? You're paying 30 a month for you in April, an accident plan, as opposed to like Howard and I we pay very high premiums on our secondary because there's zero deductible on no matter where we go. It could be anything. It could be accident. It could be. So does that compensate for like if you were to lower your monthly, it wouldn't even, to me, like, again, we pay a lot, but those plans are worth it, are worth every penny. And you let something else go to keep those plans, because as you get older, no matter what, something's going to go wrong, and it's not going to be, and no matter what it is, these higher premiums on the better plans like Part D, Part F are worth it. You agree? Rather than lowering that premium and taking up something, what if it's not accident related? Then what? I mean, this one.
Well, I mean, you got a point, but the premium that you pay in South Florida is about $150 more than what it is here in North Alabama.
Oh, no wonder. I mean,
And when you
100%.
when you start talking about premiums, Terry, it's all about utilization.
oh,
Okay, and you have Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County are the most heavily populated counties in the state of Florida.
I know. I live in.
And so that's what brings the premiums up. And right now, that's why we're seeing a trend of people walking away from them, because they're not affordable anymore. And nobody knows what's going to happen with rate increases as we approach 2026. Nobody knows.
As a consumer, like bringing it back to a restaurant, as a consumer, you have to be aware of what's going on in the restaurants. Recently, a restaurant opened up here in Boca, a Chinese restaurant, and I looked at the menu last night online for soup. And this is not a high-end location. This is in a middle-class neighborhood, not on the water. It's west of 95, and they were charging $15 for soup, $37 for a chicken dish.
I give 60 days. That's it.
Crazy prices, but then the consumer has to say to themselves, "Am I going to spend that money because of what's going on? Is that the price I'm going to pay to go out to dinner? Instead of going out 3 times a week, maybe I'll go out once a month."
Howard, I got my profits and loss statements for the business, and I had no idea how much I was spending going out to dinner until between January and June. This is embarrassing, okay? But this just tells you the prices, how expensive it's become, because if I'm at a meal, it's always a business meal. $2,700 that I have spent just on meals between January and June.
Holy crap.
That's so you're talking 6 months into 27. That's about $800 a month that we're spending, that the business is spending. Okay. And I honestly think that that's probably one of the reasons why the lady that owns In-N-Out has left California and moved to Nashville, because the cost to do business between food costs, taxes, salaries, benefits, nobody goes into the restaurant business and say, I'm just going to give away the farm. So she had to look for a location that was going to be all four of those aspects less expensive for her, so she can still operate. One thing I hate is we went to, April and I and Hannah went up to Fayetteville, Tennessee on Saturday. I say, let's go to the McDonald's. It's quick, it's easy. We sat in the drive-thru for 15 minutes, got out of the drive-thru, went inside, spent another 20 minutes inside the restaurant, because you know what? They went to kiosks, which means if you have kiosks, you have less employees in the back preparing the food. Okay. You know what? They can say all they want that they can't afford to pay their employees, but that does not mean that the customers are still not going to come there. And if you've got to wait 35, 40 minutes for fast food, you can go away and just do away with the word fast. And if it's really food, you're doing even better.
I want to ask Kurt, because he's got his finger on the pulse of the industry, because he's doing the processing. So, and he's involved. I'm assuming that even if they're using chaos, he's doing the processing for some of them.
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, kiosk definitely taken like hold in the industry, but like kiosks like are kind of viewed as like a line buster, something that like when you get really busy, it's gonna like, but they actually don't work that way. It's more of, corporate headquarters saying, hey, use our kiosk so that way we don't have to pay our employees. It doesn't really work that way. But I mean, regardless of where your politics lie, I mean, I agree with you guys as far as like the tariffs are concerned, but like it's twofold. I mean, I live here in like Polk County, which is the second largest growing county in the United States, but like half of the population is Latino, right? And I'm seeing like processing go from $200,000 a month down to like 50,000 right now. Because also, like I said, regardless of where you fall in politics, like the ICE raids, it's scaring all the Latino population, and they're not going out. They're not spending money also. So it's not just prices going up like crazy. It's also like, the politics of, the demographics changing and everything like that too. So it's definitely, I mean, it's still a profitable business, but right now you have to utilize technology pretty significantly in order to like monitor your margins to like slivers of a degree. Otherwise, you're going to be, you're hurting at the end of the day. I mean, like I said, it used to be back in the day, right? 30, 30, 30, 10 was like your hope, right? 10% profit margin, but now you're lucky if you're making 5, 6. So it's utilizing AI tools, stuff like that to help, monitor your costs and stuff, I think it's the future. You have to, if you're not jumping on board with technology right now, then you're falling behind.
Do you see restaurants reducing the number of items on their menus?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of places too now are using like the AI tools to scan their PMix, and you can actually scan your products, like which ones are selling, what, ingredients and stuff like that, So like if you're monitoring, food costs and stuff like that, you can have like AI tools scan your PMix and show you like what products are selling, what products aren't selling, what products are too expensive, what products aren't profitable. So, there's a lot of tools that you can use that way too. So that way you can kind of like whittle down your menu, because a lot of places have 6-page menus, and it's not a good.
Howard, can I ask Kurt a question real quick? Well, Kurt, I understand that, but I'll be honest with you, I've never known how to read a P&L statement.
Sure.
And the concern I have in some of these restaurants is they're having so much trouble finding good help that they're just throwing anybody to put a body there, and half those people probably don't even know how to read a P&L or a statement that says what's selling the most and what's not selling the most, or their people above them are so wet behind the ears. And I think that hurts the industry just as much. Don't you agree?
Oh, 100% agree. I mean, like everywhere I go, it's hilarious too, because like my nephew, he's been in the service industry for a long time, and like he's going on interview after interview, but like he can't get hired. But then at the same time, there's help wanted signs in every single window. So I don't know where the disconnect is there too. But as far as like P&Ls and scanning and stuff like that, I mean, most owners don't even know, how to actually read a P&L properly. They don't know how to look at their PMIX. They don't even really know how to understand their daily sales recap, their DSR, right? So I mean, it's utilizing technology and having somebody help you, I guess, is a good thing. Like I said, there's all kinds of AI tools that will scan your P&L for you and just give you suggestions and dumb it down for you, which is really, really, I think it's the future. Because if you're going to open up a restaurant, and you're not doing it for the love of opening a restaurant, then it's not really a smart decision, honestly,
Hey, Kurt, you need to send your brother's or your nephew or cousin's information up to Chris Kaufman.
Yeah.
And the way, the thing is how is he related to you again? Your cousin, your nephew?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is your nephew has all these years and years and years of experience in the service industry. Okay. There's so many people going to the service industry. It's like a revolving door. And I'm not saying that would happen with your nephew,
yeah.
But they're like, oh, okay, he's got all these years of experience. I got to pay him this much, and I don't want to pay him this much, so I'm just not going to hire him.
It's exactly what it is.
Okay. And what's so sad? Here's the sad thing about it. Those are the people that they actually need.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that can actually come in, adjust the profits and loss statements, adjust what's going in and going out, looking at your food cost, your waste cost, your paper cost, everything, and actually help that industry make money, which means, oh, wow, now I can actually afford to pay this person.
Yeah.
They can't afford to pay them because they have nobody running the business who knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of studies out there too. I mean, or companies that have done case studies where they raise and paid their employees and raised the minimum wage up like much higher than the average, right? And then you have a higher standard of like keeping your employees, they're happier, they're more productive, and then it positive all the way up from the bottom. But, people think.
I do group benefits, and 65% of employers right now are having trouble retaining good talent because they don't have a good benefits program.
Sure.
Because on the flip side, 65% of employees, that's their first thing. The benefit package is what they want the most. And then let's discuss what the position pays afterwards.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, how many times you go into an interview and like they will not tell you how much they're paying, and you're like, "Well, what's the salary range?" And they're like, "Oh, it's competitive." Like, there's even commercials that joke about that now. And
it's like, yeah,
that's funny. I've seen that.
Competitive. What's competitive?
What question I have? Well, question that I have is, once this tariff situation settles down, I don't know, Ed, were you listening to the conversation?
What, Howard? What?
Were you listening to the conversation?
I've been on the phone with a trucking company for the last 20 minutes. They delivered a machine yesterday at 4:30 in the afternoon. The store cannot find it this morning. And I just finally got off with the manager. Oh, they misdelivered it. We'll have it there by 10:30 in the morning. A $27,000 piece of equipment they delivered to the wrong goddamn store.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
It helps. Hard to find.
So I can imagine what kind of damage is going to be on this thing.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully nothing. Hopefully everything's all right.
I hope not.
Wow.
It's businesses.
So anyway, that's what I've been working on now. The guy who's doing the install for me, he's 20 minutes away. I told him, you go out there, look at it. If there's any damage on it, you note it, because we're going to go back for them for claiming all the damage.
Oh,
before you offload it, you take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Absolutely.
that's just what a way to start a Friday.
Yeah. Well, the question that I have is, after this tariff situation calms down and everybody finds a level of comfort in whatever tariff percentage it is, and what happens to the prices that people have raised? For example, this Chinese restaurant that opened and is charging $15 for the soup. What's going to happen to consumer prices, once these tariffs are settled, are the prices going to slide back, or are they going to stay the same?
Well,
And
just remember, Howard, on all this, the tariffs are imposed on what the declaration of the selling value of or the cost is. It's not the selling value in the United States. So if we import something from Italy, their cost to us may be 2,000, but we're selling it for 5,000. So it's based on 2,000. So you got to look at it that way. The other thing is what the Europeans have already decided they're going to do. If there's components in that equipment that come from, say, United States, they're deducting the cost of those components.
Oh, wow.
So it is not a straightforward answer.
Yeah, I would also add into that too. It's like, I mean, yeah, tariffs can affect change and change price and everything like that. But at the same time, even if the tariffs weren't affecting prices, period, like you're giving corporations the excuse to raise up their prices and make more profit, right?
Yeah,
If you give them the excuse to make more profit, they're going to take every inch of rope that you give them, right?
I know that there's people that I deal with who work for different companies and use different European importers, different European products they're bringing in. If they're bringing it in directly from Europe, we're not sophisticated enough to do all this. So they're paying a flat right now 15% or whatever it's 10% tariff on everything that comes in there. So I don't know how it's all going to shake out.
So, I mean, I think the big thing we have to look at first off is we have to look at, well, you got to look at the type of goods you're talking about. We need to focus on the elasticity of those goods. So if they're goods that we can't live without, or that a restaurant can't live without, then you're gonna have to bite the bullet. But the goods that are elastic, you are going to start seeing. We are seeing that right now. I've been going to restaurants for the last 2 weeks in Brevard County. You have over 1,700 restaurants, and I can tell you that in Melbourne alone, I've probably gone to at least 50 of them that at lunchtime in a prime location, there's not a soul in there. I can go right in there and talk to the manager. So we're oversaturated, and eating out is an elastic good. Going to the grocery store, buying bread, that's inelastic. I think the tariff situation, is it affecting the restaurants from a food standpoint? Probably not a majority, because most of our food's produced domestically, at least from a protein standpoint. So anytime your exports decrease in your country, the price of that domestic good is going to decrease in the country. So, and vice versa. So if Italy or England can't buy American-made chicken, then American chicken is going to go down. Same thing that works there. But I do think that where restaurant owners are going to see the biggest push and the hardest hit is that the consumer base is being hit other places on tariffs that they can't avoid, such as cars, such as electronics. Those are going to be where a consumer's budget, less and less is going to be dedicated to eating out. And so we hit on it, but I think what you're about to see is that the economy and the market is about to start weeding out who the good managers of restaurants are and who the bad managers of restaurants are, because we aren't going to have that luxury as restaurant owners and managers of, man, I got a great product. People love what I have. I'm willing to pay whatever. I'll put it this way, profitability, well, a good product and profitability can hide a lot of mistakes. And when those margins go razor thin, those mistakes get exposed. And unfortunately, I think you're going to see a lot of people like your $15, soup at the Chinese restaurant. They're going to have to adjust their pricing, adjust their margins, or they're going to go broke. I mean, because you got to have people coming in and out for revenue. So,
first of all, if Well,
I've
first of all,
seen,
if I see $15 soup at a Chinese restaurant, I'm just going to stop eating Chinese food for a little while, and I'll make my own at home. I mean,
well, a lot of restaurants, especially the chains now, are trying to reduce their price, not reduce their prices, but they're offering specials. I brought it up a lot,
Yeah.
I think last week, like Applebee's, 2 for 25, or Chili's, 3 for 10, or something. They do all these kind of things to get you in, get people back in the door, because, like you
so
said,
Howard,
so for
so
lunch, it's
Howard,
tempting.
so Howard, they're not, if they do 2 for 10, or I mean 2 for 25 or 3 for 10, they're not basing on price, they're basing it on sheer volume. They feel with sheer volume they'll make more of a profit because they're moving more product, and they're still making a profit because they know what their prices are and they know what they can put on the menu to afford to do that. When we go to Applebee's, we always do the 2 for 25. It just makes sense. I get my appetizer, I get my entree, and it's perfect, all for one price.
Well, they're trying to drive their marginal costs per plate down. That's all they're trying to do. So what they've tapped into on their production curve is they're at the point to where they're driving that marginal cost down. So the more food they push out, the lower cost their supply is going to cost them on a marginal basis. But it comes with a double-edged sword. Because if you're not pushing enough of that food out, you're going to get burned on the back end from your supply company. So, I mean, there's a lot going on there.
But Brandon, if those restaurants are having that issue, they need to revamp their menus. Because if
Yeah.
you've been to Applebee's lately, that 2 for 25 is always on the back.
Yeah.
If they're wanting to push more food, why don't they put that towards the front? Is that a marketing faux pas, or are they doing that on purpose?
Well, that's the thing. I think that with the situation Applebee's, and Chili's for that matter, that you see that, what they're doing is, well, first off, well, yeah, well, what they're doing, if you look at what they're serving things that aren't premium products. They're serving fried shrimp, they're serving chicken tenders, and they're serving these like riblet type things, or pasta. It's very low margin, very high volume, low margin type of products anyway. Like, I mean, Costa chicken. When I was working in chicken, I mean, before COVID, we were selling chicken at 89 cents a pound. I mean, it was like that was the commodity price for chicken. So you look at Applebee's. I don't think that I think what they're doing is they're using that as a price point. You get people going in, oh, the 2 for 25, and then when you start reading the fine print, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to eat, pay $12 for an order of chicken strips if I go to Chick-fil-A and get the same thing. But it's making. But the other point is, you got a problem. You got a problem when you're in Applebee's and you only have 50 guests a day, because your fixed cost and your overhead is going to be the same regardless of if you have 50 or if you have 1,000. And so getting people in and out of that restaurant is a big deal. So I think that's kind of why they have the 2 for 25, more so to kind of offset that fixed cost there.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm gonna agree with you because I deal with equipment, so I'm part of the fixed costs that they use to get the business going. And there's been a push, believe it or not, for the last 4 or 5 years, where a lot of the European companies have been building facilities in the United States to fabricate or manufacture or assemble equipment. Mm-hmm. That's been going on, but that's only accelerating right now.
Yeah.
That's why you also see a lot of the rise of QSRs, right? And you see a lot of online ordering taking off because, like, ever since COVID, it's like 42% of restaurants, like 42% of their profits come from online ordering now. So, I mean, you see like QSRs and them saving space, and you see all these like Seven Bros and Dutch Bros coffee places that are like 500 square feet, right? Because they're trying to maximize as much profit with the least amount of space and overhead. So, it's just that's the name of the game nowadays. I mean, we half of our business at Spot On comes from QSRs, food trucks, stuff like that, because it's all like downsizing.
Well, Kurt,
Is that the business model for LinkedIn or Lickin, the coffee company from China?
There's Seven Bros, Dutch Bros. I mean, there's a bunch of them that are popping up all over Florida now too. I'm not sure if they're from China, but I'm sure.
Well, there's one that's number one in China. Is it Lickin? They've actually opened up in the United States now, in New York City, and they're apparently kicking Starbucks' ass.
Well, Starbucks CEO announced yesterday that they were doing away with those quick type places because they're revamping their model style.
Yeah,
I think that's going to happen all over the industry.
Yeah, it's got to. But you see, like I said, I mean, here just in the last 6 months, they've opened up at least 25 in Orlando alone, and they're, probably like 500, less than 1,000 square feet, just a drive through, and they have like 2 employees, and that's it. And it's just like bagels, coffee, simple, really quick. So I mean, you see this, and then QSRs are taking off like crazy too. So it's our whole business model too. It's spot on. Is switched from like fine dining and like full on restaurants and sit down, and we're like literally pivoting our entire platform over to an express model, just to make like a user interface, like the UX UI, make it very simple, and have like these, because eventually like that's going to be like the go-to for any restaurant. So we're seeing it across the board, but I mean, I hope the main restaurants bounce back, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to go out and eat. Everybody wants to, like, that's part of our sociability as, human beings, right?
But it has to be affordable.
Yeah, exactly.
There are companies in the industry, and we have one in our 11 o'clock group that acts as a third-party purchasing department. Companies called Strategic Supply Chain. And very basically, what they do is, if you're paying $4 a pound for tomatoes, they will go out and negotiate with your suppliers for the same product and get a better price, and they get paid a percentage of the savings. So a lot of those restaurants that are going to be looking to lower their prices are going to have to take advantage of some companies like that.
Absolutely, Howard. I mean, I tell new restaurant owners all the time, if they're like looking, because I know people at Cisco, I know people at Cheney Brothers, I know people. I'm like, you have to contact all of them, and you have to like make them fight for your business. That's the only way you're gonna like get those prices down.
Right.
Well, they go out and just source for a better price. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is give them your numbers, and I guarantee you, they're going to save you 10 to 20%. They've saved companies, restaurant chains, millions of dollars. It's just insane. Like you said, loyal to Cisco, loyal to Gordon, loyal to your supplier. They give you a gift once a year. Well, you're paying for that gift. You think it's a gift from your, from one of your food suppliers, but in actuality, the prices that you pay all year, you're actually paying for gifts. So they actually go out and resource for you, and they can almost always, every product you're selling, get that price down.
Well, I want to get our intros in, so I want to thank you all for a great conversation this morning. That was really informative, and so I'd like to get the intros in so that people know who we are, so that they can contact us. So, Brandon, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, my name is Brandon. I'm with ITD Food Safety. We first and foremost are a food safety technology company. So we help restaurants, schools, plants, anyone in the country and internationally as well, optimize their food safety so they can stay in compliance with their local regulations and everything like that, mainly around temp logs and label management. I head up our division of education for food safety. So what we do is we help restaurants and managers train their employees and make sure that they're up to date on the latest food safety standards and get updated on their certifications and things like that. So that's what I do. That's who I'm with. You can give me a call at 321-308-6137 or email me at Brannon@itd.com or itdfoodsafety.com. Sorry. So again, Brandon with ITD Food Safety.
Okay, if you'd like to schedule yourself to do a presentation to the group in depth, let me know and we'll pick a date. And the same applies to you, Kurt, since you're the newest member of the group. So why don't you tell us who you are?
Yeah, sounds good. Like I said, I just got back from the gym, so I'm sweaty. What's going on, everybody? I'm Kurt Hayden. I'm with Spot On. We're a restaurant technology company, top to bottom, AI tools to help you like manage and streamline your business, point of sale processing, credit card processing, all that. Yeah, I mean, if you guys ever need anything, if you guys ever need any help, if you have any questions about technology, feel free to reach out. Like I said, my name's Kurt Hayden. My phone number, if you want to get a hold of me, is 727-667-3825. And my email is kurt.hayden@spoton.com. Looking forward to working with everybody.
All righty. Chris, we didn't hear from you today. You were quiet. So give us your intro.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I was on my way to the gym, but I didn't want to get sweaty. So, my car swerved into a Sonic with got a bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. If you're willing to wait 18 and a half minutes for it, it's pretty good. And speaking of service or the lack thereof, that's one of the ways that we help companies is we provide human capital for these companies. We provide restaurant managers, chefs, restaurant executives. We've worked with small companies, an independent person, one-off, to the New York Stock Exchange companies and everybody in between. And we work on behalf of the client companies. We never take money from candidates, never will. And we primarily, over the last 6 months, have seen an uptick in demand for people with culinary backgrounds, whether that's kitchen manager, sous chef, executive sous chef. And we put out periodically our talent showcase, which has helped us to spread the word with who we are and what we do. Been recruiting and placing aces in great places since 1981, and we are committed to keep doing it till we get it right. So Chris Kaufman providing restaurant all-stars, all-star talent. Telephone number 404 All-Star, 404-255-7827. Just ask for Chris.
Chris, that was great. That sounded like Price is Right voice right there.
Crazy Eddie's.
Come on down. We got your sous chef right here.
Sure, have your nephew call Chris.
That's right.
Jeremy, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Jeremy with Worksite HR. We're your full back office solution for payroll, benefits, work comp, and HR.
Are you sweaty too?
I am sweaty. As of last night, I went to the gym. I sweated all night. But one of the great things about us is we're very customizable. So if you have your favorite benefits broker like Rick Israel, we'll just do the deductions and make sure that he still manages your benefits. If you have your favorite CPA and you want them to have access to our payroll system so they can get reports and all that, we'll give them access. One of the great things with us is we're family owned, based out of Northport, Florida. And some new updates about the big, beautiful bill. So the FICA tip tax credit I always tell you guys about is now extended to hair salons, barbershops, nail places that receive tips. So if you have your favorite haircut place and you know the owner, or Terry, your favorite, beautiful place to go to get, your monthly maintenance done or whatever you do. I know my wife goes monthly. So whoever your favorite is, guys, I'd love an introduction to your favorite barbershop, your favorite nail place, your favorite eyebrow threading place, you name it. If they take tips and they're in the service industry, I want to help them and get rid of their payroll expense and hopefully some money left over to reduce their workers' comp premiums. Again, Jeremy with Worksite HR, 904-295-5110. My email is jeremy@worksitehr.com.
Thank you. Rick, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the plug there, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Rick Israel with Lifeline Insurance Consultants based here in Huntsville, Alabama. Phone number is 256-746-9581. We can come into your business and we can do a zero cost review of your current benefits with a census of how many employees you have. We are brokers, which means we don't just use one company, we use several companies, so we shop for you. Our whole goal is to lower your premiums, lower your costs, lower your exposure. We work with companies like Equitable, Colonial, Aflac. So we carry all the big companies, and be more than happy to help you out. You can reach me once again at 256-746-9581. Also, remember, we do Medicare. So if you have individuals that work for your business that are getting close to that Medicare age, we would love to work with your company as well to kind of take that weight off your HR director's hands, because most HR directors do not know about Medicare, don't know exactly how it operates. So we can be that go-to business that can help your employees roll into the Medicare. My email is rick@life-lineinsurance.com. Thank you.
What's the retirement age now? Did they raise it?
Retirement age, you know what? I found something very interesting, and that may be another topic for another day, but full retirement age is 67. But I met an individual yesterday that retired at 64, took his Social Security, went to his financial broker, invested the money, is getting a 7% return every month on his money. And this way, he's living off of his dividends instead of his Social Security, because he's getting 7% return on what he's investing. So I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. Never thought about doing something like that. But more and more people are doing that to streamline their money and avoid having to pay all those taxes on your Social Security at the end of the year. All you do is pay the taxes on the dividends if they're taxable. But 67 is full retirement age.
That's a whole other subject for another day.
Yep.
And Ed, good morning.
Good morning. And by the way, I'm not sweating this morning. I've got the air conditioning on in my office. So we're okay. And I'm not at the plantation picking coconuts, so I don't have to worry about that.
Good.
My name is Ed Gerton with Seco Sales out of lovely Orange Park, Florida, which is just outside of Jacksonville. We're an equipment supply company that only works with the frozen dessert equipment. So we have soft serve ice cream machines from Carpigiani. We have batch freezers from BGI and Carpigiani. We have display cases from ISA, IFI, and GTI Design. And we cover blast freezers, hardening cabinets, frozen drink machines from Vier. You can reach me at 904-334-4489. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. And Terry, quickly.
Good morning, everyone. Jeremy, thank you for that very sweet plug. However, I don't go anywhere. I do everything myself, but I appreciate that. Probably one of the few that don't, especially here in Boca. But I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I won't spend doing myself. Anyway, if any of you got the leads, they came out early this month. We were able to send them out this morning. So it's amazing. I've already gotten so many thank yous. And instead of waiting till the 9th, we're trying to get them out like the 1st and the 2nd. And I supply lead reports, monthly lead reports, invaluable information, owners' names, email addresses, phone numbers. Did I say email addresses, addresses, where they're going to be? Do they have more? After I sent it out, I got an email, and I think I'm going to do a blast on that one of another chain coming into Florida with several locations being scouted and already signed. So I think that's important. And I don't want to wait a month for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and send that one out. But if anybody wants a sample, it comes on a Excel spreadsheet every month. So if anybody wants a sample, email me, terry@trnusa.com, and I'll send it out to you. That way you can kind of see the format and kind of what we have, even though there's a whole lot more than what's on there. Have a great weekend, as Tony the Tiger would say. Rick, thank you for your service to us. He's done a terrific job for us and for a friend of mine that was in grave need, and I use that word lightly, but much appreciated. And I just wanted to, just as I'm the end one here, I wanted to just ask a really quick question. And it's going to, Jeremy, you're going to certainly benefit from all this, but we went to a restaurant, Nashville Hot Chicken, okay? Started in California, actually, where I'm from. And it's a very limited menu, and you can get your heat of chicken all the way up to where you can't stand it. But there's a gigantic sign on the door that no one can miss. As you walk in, it says no cash accepted.
It's good for Kurt.
It's good for Kurt. It's good for anybody that has credit card processing. It's good for anybody that needs anything. I mean, however, I was reluctant to go in there. I don't like the way that it's going, and I'm not going to elaborate on that. But what does everyone think of that? Just quickly.
If somebody wanted to, they could sue them for refusing legal tender. It says right on our money, legal tender. They cannot refuse legal tender.
Thank you.
Somebody could sue them if they wanted to.
Thank you.
Terry, my son works for Sam's and works in the cafe at Sam's, and they're going all scan and go. Okay, so you go on your app. The problem you're having is there's a lot of individuals who don't have smartphones who shop at Sam's, and they refuse. So they're eventually going to stop taking cash there. So Jeremy, thank you for that, because that's a good point to know, because if you're refusing my cash, you can be sued, because this is considered money. This is considered, I can trade this for goods.
They'll take
the whole purpose of it.
I walk into a lot of restaurants in Polk County that are still very old school, and they just have a cash register and don't take credit cards. Does that go the other way too? If you can't take a credit card, can I sue you?
No, because that's cash tender.
All right.
Okay,
all right, I'm going to give you a whole week to think about that. Maybe we'll discuss that next week. But the meeting is over, and I want to thank everybody for the conversation today. It was great, and hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe, and let the sauce be with you.